Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Amber Rose is trending because she spoke at a convention where she was trying to convince people, especially Black people, that Trump is good for them, and also telling them that, he does not, the Republicans doesn't care if you are Black, straight, left, right, and the rest of it, that they are all there for you. And I see people shouting and screaming for her. Good, she's doing great. Now, I am going to ask this. How can you bring someone that is confused about her race to come and speak to people? Who is she speaking for? Is she speaking for Black community or she's speaking for white community? Number one is that she is not white enough to be white, and she is also not Black enough to be Black. So where is she standing? That is something I want to ask. And now I don't think it's hidden. You all already know that Amber Rose has actually said this, that she does not care about people that look like me. And she's actually out there lying. The truth is that once they get that check, they get it. They stand on the pulpit or wherever they are standing and speak nothing but lies. She absolutely knew that what she was saying is lie. That they don't care if we are Black and all that. And if they do not care, why is it that they did not pick Tim Scott and the rest of them, those coons, to be the VP? Let's get into this video.
Celebrity Amber Rose spoke at the Republican National Convention tonight, and what she said was just insane. Take a look.
I realize Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're Black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
Yeah, she really just said with a straight face that the Republicans don't care whether you're straight, gay, Black, white, whatever, they're accepting. Really? Is that why after the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania the other day, Republican Representative Tim Burchett blamed a woman on Donald Trump's Secret Service detail for the shooting, saying she was working at Pepsi before this, and blamed DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for the shooting? Were the Republicans accepting of everybody when 7 Republican attorney generals wrote to Target last year saying their Pride Month campaigns could violate their state laws? Were they accepting when a former Trump administration official described Vice President Kamala Harris as a DEI hire and said this abhorrent thing about her? Or maybe the Republicans are accepting when they remove polling locations in predominantly Black communities, which they've been doing all the way back since 2018. Those are the people that are accepting of all? Okay, sure.
Good morning, TikTok. So, got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, turns out Jocelyn Hernandez was speaking truth to power when she said what she said about Amber Rose. What it is that you don't want to be Black. She doesn't. Amber Rose, she was caught up in an identity crisis for a very long time, but like someone else said, I guess she didn't figure it out. She really wants to embrace the white side of her. Here's the thing, the part about that. If only it were that easy, as a mixed race person, if you could just say, I'm white, I tell you. That's a famous line from a movie called Imitation of Life. A lot of you are probably too young to remember this movie, but anyways, a very famous line. But here's the problem though. You can feel however you want to feel about yourself, but the thing about it is the people who she is now embracing will never look at her that way. They are not capable of seeing past her color, or her sleeve tattoos, or that big stupid tattoo on her forehead. And don't get me wrong, I fully believe in bodily autonomy. So if she want to mark up her forehead like that, then go ahead. She presents in a way that is so outside of the box from what those people feel like everyone should be presenting, like, of what they feel is acceptable. And this is what I don't be understanding about her. And then monoracial black people who are also siding with this party. I don't understand what it is they don't understand about the fact that they will never be accepted. They are not. They will always be the servants, the footstools, the doormats of this party. This party will never accept them. This party will do to them the same thing that these types of racist white people have done. Because the whole party is racist. I don't care what nobody say. The whole party is racist. And let me explain to you why. To get to support someone like Trump, who is an overt racist, to continue to make excuses for him, you are the same kind of person. Never, ever could I support a racist, an overtly racist person like Donald Trump. You're the same kind of person. Whole party's racist. And the only thing that they're going to do is, and they seem to think that these black people have some kind of influence over other black people. Like black people like, say, you and me. And I can barely remember Amber Rose's name. I can barely remember the names of any of those Rockies that sit up and are constantly screaming into mics about how black people need to, black people were better under Jim Crow. And I can't even listen to that ridiculousness. I take none of it seriously. I don't respect them. I don't respect what's being said. I would never vote for this party. They aren't influencing me. I'm not easily influenced at all. And I think that they think that we all are, because they think that most of us lack intelligence. Most of them think that they are superior thinkers to us. And that's why they think that. And because they think that, they're going to just use those black people for, they think that that is enough to get the black vote. That they don't have to put in any work for it. They'll just use these Rockies over here and that they'll influence the black folks. And then, they'll do this shooting, not shooting. I don't know, what do you want to call it, of Trump. And that's how we got dragged into that whole thing with the shooting, because they think that black people, we can now relate to Trump because he got shot at. It's like I said in another video over on YouTube, I don't even know any black people who've ever been shot at. I mean, but we're all a monolith, which is why you have to reprogram your brain and you have to let your black brothers and sisters be the individuals that they are. And you got to stop saying, yes, there are times when we need to be united. That's in our fight and in our struggle. But in our everyday lives, let black people live their lives. Let them be happy, being who they are, doing what they do. Stop trying to gather other black people up for the patriarchy, for white people, for the comfort of white people. Stop letting the thoughts and opinions of white people dictate your actions. Stop caring so much about what they think. Stop. Stop. These are not exceptional people. These are not superior people. I get it. Sometimes on your job, you got to play that game. But in your real life, you do not. In your real life, you are free to be free. In your real life, you are free to let other black people give other black people that same freedom. This party has used black people to take everything from black people. Diversity, equity, inclusion, our history. They're going after our history now. They're banning the truth of our history. Taking away affirmative action. Clarence Thomas should be ashamed of himself. I hope he burn if there is a hell. He used affirmative action in order to be in the position that he's in, and then he just pulled the carpet, he locked the door behind him when it came to other black people. Because his white wife and her cronies told him to. What is he on? The shooter wasn't even black. The shooter wasn't even a Democrat. How did we... I know. This will give you street credit with the black people. We don't have to put in any work. They'll just be able to relate. Because they've all been shot at. I ain't never been shot at. I got a Glock on my hip right now, but I ain't never pulled it. I don't know any black people who have ever been shot. I don't know any black people that live that life. I don't. I don't know why we just can't mind our black ass business. We just be out here minding our own business, living our lives, and they always dragging us into their shit. Shit we ain't got nothing to do with. What would they do without us? That's the question. Y'all have a good day.
A member of Congress who was a Republican came out immediately and blamed the incident on DEI and said that the fact that there were women and black people in the Secret Service is the reason this happened. That is a member of Congress who went out on the TV and said to the world that DEI was the cause of an assassination attempt. This is where the Republican Party is. So it's ironic that they were able to recruit this young woman who, you know, and she's a racially ambiguous. I don't want to say she's black because she has said she's not. So I don't want to say this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not black. But they've brought somebody whose whole career is based in black culture. She used to be on a show on BET. That's the reason most people know who she is. She dated one of the most prominent African-American rappers in the business in the history of hip-hop. So her whole culture came from black culture, even though she says she's not a black person herself. And the fact that she is now the person they're using to try to recruit young people of color and to say that this is the person who is the endorser of Donald Trump who you should trust, when she won't even claim the culture that brought her to the table, I'm dubious that this will work. I don't know anyone who takes their political cues from Amber Rose, but just in case you do, you might want to duplicate doing your own research because she might not have done it thoroughly.
Okay, so most of y'all probably seen these clips online about Amber Rose. And so I just needed this. If I could give her 2 pieces of advice as her therapist, this is what I would do. This is what I would say. This is what I would do with her as a therapist. 1, we have to dig back into some childhood situations to figure out what went on her mama's side that have her not wanting to identify as being black. Like what happened in the black households in your family that have you okay with being in black culture but not wanting to represent black culture, if that makes sense. Like you in it, but you're not representing. And why do you feel the need to have to choose being black or being white? Like, can't you be both? Like, your DNA encompasses both. Second, I'm trying to figure out, what do you mean by you feel like Trump party is where you belong when you basically fought for women's rights, and he is okay with women being arrested and prosecuted for wanting and getting an abortion, which is a woman's right. It's contradicting itself. So help me understand what part of his platform is overriding your belief in women's rights? And why is it okay for you to abandon that as a woman, for you to abandon the rights of women to join this this platform. Those are the two things that I think I would focus on in a therapy session, because I'm trying to figure out, why are we just so confused about where we belong in our identity? For real. Like, what is happening?
For the most part, I understand how politics work. It's really just a game. It is all one big game, especially when we're talking about elections and campaigns. Pull out the stops and the gimmicks to try to get as many votes as possible. What I don't understand, what I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around is, if you are trying to get votes and influence, heavy on the influence, people to vote for you, why then are you having Amber Rose speak at the RNC? Who's her audience? Quickly, what voters do you think she's ushering in? And as a black woman, I'm telling you right now, it's not black women. I don't know if they're trying to use the fact that she claims to be biracial. She's very white passing, so that's probably not going to help either. And maybe men. Maybe this is for the male gaze. Maybe you think you are gonna pull in more men voters. I don't know. It's 2024 and Republicans think Amber Rose is influential. Who over there is not doing the research? Amber Rose couldn't influence me to switch toothpaste.
That the best.
This is what I'm talking about. When you see people go in a relationship with someone and they end up having a child or get married to the person or whatever. And for example, for an average black man who was born black, who's recognized as black, and he involves with a white woman or someone that's outside of his race, this is the problem that I talk about. To the attention to the black man, and then later on they disappear. They don't take they don't take the instillment of being there for their children. I don't know what the circumstances was between her relationship with her parents. I don't know if they were together or, you know, the mother had to be raising herself. I think she said that her mother ended up raising for herself, and they were living in the inner city of Philly. Okay, they were living in the rough environment of Philly, and she never been around her father. So I find it very ironic that she said that her father gave her all these values and instillment to pretty much to incorporate and come on the right wing side, which is the Republican side. But moving right along, this is what I'm talking about. This is attention to all the people that's involved into interrace, whether they're female or male. When you guys are engaging into someone that's outside the race, it's not like the saying like, okay, you're dealing with someone who's the opposite of you as far as sex. This is where you guys have to instill and let your children know about both cultures. Like if you as an average black man and you're involved with a white woman, whether you're married, living together, whatever, you know, she's basically telling you, you know, her children about her culture and giving the traditions of her culture, even though she probably is not around her family. Because 9/10 of the time, at that time, women who get involved with men, interrace, they end up had to be segregated from their families because they were forbidden to do that. Now we have an open door where people are having interrace and there's no discrimination. But I'm talking about when they get involved with other people that's outside of their race. As an average black man, this is where you don't run away from your responsibilities, and you try to keep the enactment of teaching your children about black culture so they don't get confused, okay? That they understand both ethnicities, her mother being a white woman and her father being a black man, and also talk about the views of, even if you're not in her life, but still give her a relationship to understand, you know, the type of food you eat, what kind of language you speak, what's your culture, to know about your history, okay? All right? Don't keep it as a taboo because of the fact that you're involved with a white woman, and the vice versa with black women too, when they're involved with a different race of their own kind. Like if you're a woman who's black and you come from the descendant of Africa or from the Caribbean or so forth, and you involved with a white man or someone out your race or Asian or whatever, yeah, you understand his culture, you see the other side of his culture, but let your children know about your culture too, okay? Because usually when people are in an interracial couple, they start losing their side of their ethnicity. and have their child believing that the dominant ethnicity is the ones that's involved, who they're involved with. I can give you a prime example. Let's say you was an average black man and you was born in Jamaica, West Indies, and you came here to America, you got your citizenship, and you graduated from college with your woman of your life that you ended up getting engaged and married, and she's Puerto Rican, but she's the European kind of European, where she favors herself to be white, okay, or she'll say that she's Hispanic. Moving right along, she will teach you all of her culture, the food she eats, the music that she dances to, all kinds of stuff, even convert you into Catholic, even though you was converted as Christian. And you start losing your culture. So when your kids come over to visit their grandparents, which is your mom, and your mom is bringing food to the table, even though some of the Hispanics, their food is a little bit similar with the oxtail, the this and that and all kind of stuff, and even the formation of rice. Some are, some not. However, your child doesn't really adapt to the food, don't even really adapt to the island of Jamaica, because you never really showed that part of the side of you. That child loses the culture, okay? There's nothing wrong with being interrace. You can be with whoever you want to, but both sides of the family should always incorporate their culture, because you see, she wants to feel belong. She was with the black community as a convenient of being an eye opener and saying that any man that be with her, she's a poster woman of American society because she's white. Even though her mother's white, but her father's black, she did not want to be recognized as black, okay? Her children, I don't know what she instilled in her children to believe, but you have your baby fathers, I don't know about the other one, but I know the first one, your baby father is a black man, okay? And he also mixed with Native Indian too. So do you incorporate that in your children's life and let them know about his ethnicity? Because obviously you're so clueless about yours. Then I like how the way she emphasizes her father. She didn't even say her mother. You see, you got to understand when people make their speeches and they have people to give them these ways of speech. It's not them using their speeches for themselves. They have people to write these speeches for them. And then they turn around and teach them what things that they're supposed to say. So what she's trying to say is, even though my father is a black man and I consider myself to be a white woman because of my mom, that even my black father even agrees that Republican is all the way. Okay, this is her way of influencing it. And it's kind of crazy, because I remember she always acted like an airhead, like she had no sense. And she always came around in the black spaces and even to black politicians and talking about the views of women's rights. If you look back in her video, she criticized Trump with Roe versus Wade, okay, and how women should have rights. So how we backpedal how we feel now. And then she started emphasizing about the economy. Trump did not solve anything with the economy before. So how you think he's going to solve the economy how it is now? The economy is now because you're standing at a pulpit of all people that is there, including the Puerto Ricans, which I think is very sad, because the Puerto Ricans are another one that's confused. I remember the man was throwing paper towel at y'all. He did not give you aid. It was the elites and the people who are aristocratic that lived in Puerto Rico and is a part of Puerto Rico that was giving you aid and assessments. He did not touch anything. He basically came there and pretended like he was the Cape Crusader, but he didn't do it. So when y'all turned around and said, all 23 of us and 22 of us are standing with you as a Republican Party, they all laughed at you, because at the end of the day, after you get your votes, what does America have done for the community of Puerto Rico? Have they ever went to the side of you guys and gave you any aids and assessments? And I want to know if you guys can have the right to vote. No, for real. I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything. I just want to know if you guys have the right to vote, considering the fact that you guys are part of America, but as a commonwealth. For all the years you guys have been standing with the United States, has still made you as a commonwealth. You guys are not even a republic. You're not even a part of the sector. They don't even put you a part of the 50 states. Okay? They have Hawaii and Alaska, yes, but not you guys. So I don't think you guys see the red flag. But back to Amber Rose. As she turns around and she acknowledged her mother's side of the culture and saying that she's a part of them, I bear to differ, because they're looking at you and seeing you as, I'm going to say it, that you're lower totem pole as them. Okay? You got a tattoo on your forehead. Who does that? All right? They recognize that as people in the Hispanic culture does that, and even some of the blacks have put tattoo. You treat yourself like a minority, okay? They look at you that you have a shaved head. People in the Republican Party, they think you should have your hair grown, okay? They're not going to look at you as Christianity. They're going to look at you as a person who was a thought, because you was a thought. You was a stripper to a video vixen. You had a book that telling people how to get a man. You was a groupie. You went from every rapper, from Wiz Khalifa to 21 Savage, and you went with Kanye West and multiple people, okay, men, sharing your whole love towards them.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and sincerely speaking, anybody that will be influenced by Amber Rose is confused. And the people that brought her out at the convention to speak is also convinced, because I do not know the people she is representing. If she is representing white or black. Why? Because she is not white enough to influence white, and she is also not black enough to influence black people. So the Republicans are confused, and Amber Rose also proved to us that she is also dumb and confused. Because how would somebody, like, she has identity crisis to start with, right? And she actually came out to say that the Republicans do not care if you're black, this, gay, or the straight, or this. And she knows so much that she is lying. She is a liar, because it is the otherwise. I wish some people can actually tell themselves the truth, because the problem we're having is that some people do not like the truth, or they are not also telling themselves the truth. She probably might have collected check and she is out there and trying to influence whoever. But like I said, anybody that will be influenced by Amber Rose does not even have a stand, because she also does not have a stand, and she does not have that willpower, like, to influence. I mean, she's not even an influencer. She can't even influence anybody, because I do not see something that is that super amazing or super great about her. I am not saying she's not good or something, but there are some, I don't know how to say. I love smart people. I love intelligent people. She's not acting like she's one. So why would I be influenced by what she's saying? Like the other woman said, she was influencing, influencer for toothpaste, and she could not even influence her to use the toothpaste. Is it now right now that she is trying to influence people to vote for the other people, right? It is really crazy. And it is what it is. I have known from the onset that she has been anti-black. I do not know the reason why. That it's her problem, not mine. And I really do not care to dive into it. But I remember there was a time, like, during a show where she actually showed herself. And she also said that she doesn't really care about people that look like me. And she uses that when it is convenient for her. And when it is not convenient, she is not using that. Now, the problem with some people is that, or should I say, having mixed kids most times. She's mixed, and she has mixed children too. So I feel like this is also going to affect her own kids, because she doesn't have a stand. How do you want to place your child on a stand when you are not standing at all? At least the child will also look at the footstep, right? Just like when my father was alive, he likes my dad. Who was an intelligent person, very very intelligent, and at the same time, he likes culture, right? Because he likes culture, he was able to inculcate that in us, right? So, what is she going to inculcate in the kids? Now, that is aside. I am not going to wear her. Now, let me set this straight. The reality is that everybody is more like coming against people that look like me. Nobody is speaking for us. Right now, everybody is all about his or her pocket. I want you all to know that. But one thing I want Black people to know is that you really have to stand strong, stand firm, right? Because in the end, we will know who is losing and who is winning. That is something that I know for sure. But for Amber Rose, let her continue what she is doing. Let her keep lying. But one thing I know is that she is also she will not be paid. Amber Rose will not be paid. She thinks she has done enough. She hasn't even done anything. She hasn't even spoken. She hasn't even said nada, right? She should ask Tim Scott, Byron Donald, right? Vivek Ramaswamy, Clarence Thomas, all of them. Let her go and ask them. I guess they will educate her more. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.